Only $100 left in my bank account. I took a screenshot and posted it on social media as a joke. I'm done trying. Minor flaws, $10,000. 1 minute later, a message popped up from Theo Jiang. Please accept payment of $100,000 me? Marry me. $100,000 a month. Ha, am I the kind of person who gets bought off with money? I countered with one move. Confirmed payment. I quit my job on the spot. In a moment of heat, I slapped my thigh and fired my boss. The consequence of this impulsive act? After paying rent, my bank account was left with only $100. Damn, the harder I work, the poorer I get. What kind of tragedy is this? No panic, no panic. As a top-tier internet surfer, I'll screenshot and post a meme first. I'm done trying. Slightly flawed, selling for $10K. 1 minute later, Theo's message popped up. Please accept payment, $100,000. Me? Marry me. $100K a month. Just for appearances. No interference in each other's lives after marriage. Ha 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 ha, Gianna, is this really happening to me? The plot twist I've been daydreaming about is finally unfolding in real life? Am I the kind of person who can be bought with money? I confirmed the payment without hesitation. Yes, I am. My heart pounding, my hands trembling, I replied immediately, yes, husband. I couldn't refuse. There was no way to refuse. Let someone else be the career-driven woman. I couldn't care less about that crappy job anymore. If a person has no dreams, what's the difference between that and being carefree? No one can stop me from being a lazy bum who gets paid to lounge at home. Theo, a rising star in the business world, rich, handsome, and talented, worth over $100 million. And me? Just a lowly office drone whose net worth isn't worth mentioning. I'm down to earth, he's billionaire down to earth. The only reason I know this big shot is because I tagged along with my ex-boss to pitch him a deal. To be precise, my former boss insisted on groveling at his feet, and succeeded. Theo proposing marriage to me means only two things: either he's lost his mind, or he's doing charity work. Regardless of his motives, choosing me from the vast sea of humanity moved me to tears. 100,000 a month, 60,000 in half a year, 120,000 in a year. Just 1 year, and I could retire early. Skip 40 years of the grind. Marry him. Right now. Forget dealing with his parents, I'd polish his ancestors' gravestones until they reflected like mirrors. That very afternoon, Theo and I rushed straight to register our marriage. I was the one in a hurry, such a golden opportunity demanded immediate action, not a moment's delay. What if he suddenly came to his senses and backed out? Wouldn't I lose millions? We had no feelings for each other. The moment we got the marriage certificate, we bolted out of City Hall without even stepping into the photo booth next door. Clutching the certificate, I felt a wave of relief wash over me. My whole body lit up with energy and drive. 100,000? How could I not be motivated? Mr. Jiang, just give the word. I'll be at your beck and call. Theo frowned. What did you call me? Husband? He nodded in satisfaction. That's right. Call me that from now on. Got it. Whatever makes you happy. I admit I was being a bit of a suck-up, but this guy was my sugar daddy. Calling him husband was nothing, I'd call him grandpa if it made him happy. So what's next? Moving in together. Oh right, plot development dictated we'd be sharing a place. Too bad I'd just paid 3 months' rent that morning. No refund. Ouch. I grabbed a suitcase, packed light, and moved straight into Theo's little villa. Most of my belongings stayed in my rented place. First, I'd already paid the rent, might as well not waste it. Second, I needed a place to hide if Theo suddenly brought another woman home for some PDA. What a sensible wife I am. Mainly, I was afraid Theo might have a sudden change of heart and kick me out with nowhere to go. Theo left on a business trip the night we got married. Aside from a part-time housekeeper who came daily to clean, I was alone in the vast villa. For a whole week, I woke up every night in my sleep. Woke up laughing. It felt amazing, absolutely incredible. Husband doesn't come home, pays monthly without fail, no kids, no mother-in-law drama to deal with. Hilarious, this dream gig was too good not to laugh about. With nothing else to do, my days were spent scrolling through videos, binge-watching shows, and chatting with my girlfriends. Around that time, news broke about some love-struck woman paying off her husband's massive debts. After reading it, I shook my head and couldn't resist posting a warning to my bestie: love-struck people end up paying off high-interest loans. Theo immediately gave it a like. That was the only contact we had after getting married. Seems we're both grounded in reality, that puts my mind at ease. Though I may seem useless, I practice daily self-reflection without fail. When will Theo's mom throw money at me? How much will Theo's mom throw at me? What's the appropriate amount to ask Theo's mom for? I even saved guides on how to smoothly collect money when she does throw it at me. After waiting and waiting, Theo finally called a few days later to say his mom would come over tonight. I practically jumped off the couch, his mom was finally coming. Before I could say anything, Theo's voice continued over the phone: "I'll come back tonight to meet her with you." I quickly refused. No, I can handle it myself. You're busy with work, no need to come back specially. Wait, why would he come back? How could I possibly accept his mom's money with him there? This golden opportunity couldn't be ruined by him. He insisted, it's better if I'm present for the first meeting. I refused. He persisted. I kept refusing. After several rounds, Theo sensed something was off and started getting sarcastic. What? Am I holding you back from taking the money and running? Damn it! Is he a mind reader? How does he know exactly what I'm thinking? My mom won't just hand over cash for you to leave. Gianna, give up on that idea. I pounded the sofa in frustration, but all I could manage was a forced smile. What can I do? I just didn't want to interrupt your work. Since you insist, I'll wait for you to return. We'd agreed on evening, but John's mother showed up at 3 in the afternoon. Caught completely off guard, I was roused from a drowsy sleep, washed my face hastily, and rushed downstairs, too flustered to even text Theo. She sat beside me in a cheongsam, her expression gentle. Theo told me about you. You're my daughter-in-law, though we've never met. My hands rested obediently on my knees. Yes, Auntie. Why call me Auntie? Since you're married, you should call me Mom. Me? So Theo's obsession with titles comes from his mom. When John's mother learned Theo hadn't returned home since getting married, a look of heartache flashed across her face. You've been through so much. Heh, I laughed awkwardly, speaking the truth. Not at all. Not at all. Really. I paid for this. How could I complain? But John's mom thought I was just being coy, stubbornly convinced I'd suffered a huge injustice. Her anger flared instantly. I'll make him come home tonight and spend more time with you. I felt like crying. Mom, it's really not necessary. Yet she didn't listen at all, continuing to champion my cause. What good is making money all the time? Leaving your newlywed wife at home like that? It's outrageous. Come on. Let's go out. I looked at her blankly. Go, where? To make a big splash. I thought she meant storming into Theo's company to confront him, but it turned out her big splash was at the mall. Shop. Father and son are cut from the same cloth, get a job and forget about their wives. We'll spend their money for them, buying whatever we want. As Jiang Mama spoke, she had the latest styles brought out. Is this the joy of the wealthy? But I hesitated to step inside. Even a basic t-shirt in the store cost tens of thousands. My meager savings wouldn't last long. Seeing my indecision, Jiang Mama urged, come on in. Don't save money for Theo. Auntie, no, Mom, is there any chance I'm not saving your son money, but simply don't have his card? I made an excuse to use the restroom and secretly called Theo. Mr. Jiang, emergency. What's wrong? His voice sounded low. Your mom dragged me to the mall. I was as frantic as an ant on a hot skillet, but he only replied indifferently, hum. Hum? Just hum? Just as I was at a loss for words, Theo finally drawled, buy whatever you want. Call me when you're done, and I'll pick you up for dinner. Can I get reimbursed? I asked cautiously, afraid of rejection, then explained, it's not something I want to buy. It's for work. You get it, right? A scoffing laugh came from the other end. Reimburse? I'll cover it all. I breathed a sigh of relief. Not spending my own money? That was a huge weight off my shoulders. After hanging up, Theo immediately transferred 500,000 yuan to me. Seeing that number, my hand shook so hard I nearly dropped my phone. Tell me if it's not enough. I have a meeting now. It's plenty, plenty. Turns out when rich people transfer 500,000, it's like transferring $50. Damn. Envy of the wealthy welled up inside me. Mom Jiang shopped happily the whole time. The world of the wealthy is probably just this simple and unadorned. Holding Theo's generous sum, I felt a twinge of guilt. So while shopping for myself, I picked out a few shirts for him too. Just when I thought Jiang Mama's shopping spree was over, she veered into a men's underwear boutique. I hesitated at the entrance. She beckoned me over. Come in and grab a couple pairs for Theo too. Me, huh? Really? I grimaced, stammering, we aren't that close. You're married, no need to be shy. Jiang Mama walked beside me, her tone earnest. We'll pick separately. I won't watch you. Go ahead. With that, she shoved me inside. Help! I felt like crying. Forget that we were purely a transactional relationship, we weren't close enough for me to pick out his underwear. The real problem was, I had no idea what size Theo wore. I couldn't exactly text him now to ask. That would be insane. But with Mrs. Jiang hovering nearby, clearly determined not to let me off the hook until I made a selection, I had no choice but to grit my teeth and pretend to browse. Forget it. Who cares what size? I'll just buy it, hide it away, and make sure Theo never sees it. Seizing a moment when Mrs. Jiang's attention was elsewhere, I grabbed 2 random boxes from the shelf and tossed them onto the counter. Check out. Quickly. By the time we left the mall, it was already 6 o'clock. Jiang's mom dropped me off at the entrance of Theo's company building, muttered, I won't disturb your alone time, and left. Standing in the lobby with bags in hand, I felt stuck, neither leaving nor staying felt right. She'd thoughtfully arranged for someone to pick me up and take me to Theo. But before my ride arrived, an uninvited guest showed up instead. Gianna. That familiar voice. I turned around. Oh, it was indeed my ex-boyfriend, Owen Chen. What a pain in the ass. We'd been in an office romance. My former boss had been inappropriate, trying to take advantage of me using his position. When I told him about it, his first reaction was to tell me to pretend nothing had happened and just swallow the humiliation. I'm getting promoted this month. Making a scene would hurt us both. Not a trace of anger crossed his face, just pure concern for his career prospects. I chuckled silently, shoving the food meant for him straight into my own mouth. Ha. Screw you. On the way back, I broke up with him right then and there. The next day, I quit my job. His showing up here probably means he wants to discuss a partnership with Theo's company. What are you doing here? None of your damn business. I didn't want to deal with him, grabbed my things, and turned to leave. But he reached out and stopped me. I got promoted. What the hell is it to me? I know you suffered injustice in that incident. I'm a manager now. Even if you don't work, I can support you. Let's get back together. His look of deep affection only made me sick. Owen, I'm expensive. That 1,000 yuan raise of yours won't cut it. Gianna, you weren't always so materialistic. He grabbed my wrist accusingly. Where did you get the money to buy all these designer brands? Speechless. Seriously, speechless. $1,000 and you're lecturing me about materialism? Get away from me. I couldn't be bothered to argue further. Just as I was figuring out how to escape, my savior arrived. Gianna, come here. Theo had appeared beside us, his gaze fixed on Owen's hand, his expression far from pleasant. I wrenched my arm free and dashed toward Theo, my face lighting up. Mr. Jiang, you're here. Machem, Theo's response was cool, revealing no emotion. Let's go. Theo reached out to take my bags, but I refused outright. No, I can manage. I had enough sense not to let my sugar daddy carry my things. But he seemed even angrier now, his face darkening as he quickened his pace. I could only run behind him, bags in hand. It wasn't until we were in the car that Theo finally asked, "Who was that?" "My ex-boyfriend," I explained while fastening my seatbelt. "We're completely over. We just ran into each other by chance today." His expression softened slightly at that. If I didn't know we were in a contract marriage, I might have thought he was jealous. But I'm a troublemaker. Seeing his overreaction, I couldn't resist teasing him. "Mr. Jiang, you're not jealous, are you? What happened to no interference in each other's lives after marriage?" "You're overthinking it. I was just asking." "I knew it." Theo started the car and changed the subject. "What do you want to eat?" "Whatever." Half an hour later, Theo pulled up outside a restaurant. "So what are we eating?" Without looking up, he replied, "Pizza." Speechless. The car slowed to a stop in front of a small villa. I hauled the shopping bags from the back seat, ready to say goodbye. "Thanks for dropping me off." No sooner had I spoken than Theo pushed open the door and stepped out. "Gianna, this is my home too." I was taken aback. "You're staying here tonight?" He shoved one hand in his pocket, staring at me. "You seem disappointed I'm back." "Busted." I laughed awkwardly. "Why would I be? Of course I want you to come back and spend time with me." "Good. By the way, starting today, I'll be staying here every night." The implication was clear: your good times are over. "Thanks a lot." Why did I have to say anything? Talk about shooting myself in the foot. But whether as the owner of this house or the husband on my marriage certificate, Theo had every right to move back in. I had no grounds to refuse. I listlessly handed him the clothes I'd bought. "For me?" "Yeah. See if they fit." Theo plopped down on the couch, flipped through the items, and picked up a box to examine it. Ahem. Too small. My enthusiasm waned. My mind was consumed with how to coexist under the same roof. Hearing that, I snapped back instinctively, "How do you know it's too small without even trying it on?" I turned to look. What was in Theo's hand if not the underwear I'd bought on a whim? Damn it! Since I never intended for Theo to wear them, I hadn't paid attention to the size when picking them out. At checkout, I shoved both boxes into my shirt pocket, planning to hide them at home before giving Theo his clothes. But his "you're moving back and starting today" threw me off, and I forgot all about it. My face flushed. I snatched the items from his hands and hid them behind my back, stammering, "These aren't for you." "Not for me? Then who are they for?" "My ex-boyfriend?" He glanced behind me again, raising an eyebrow with a hint of mockery. "So small." You. I was so flustered I couldn't form a complete sentence. "You're shameless." He chuckled softly. "Size 2XL. Remember that. Buy it next time." He was taunting me. How could I lose this? It was just trash talk. Anyone could handle that. "What's the matter? Little brother needs a 2-bedroom apartment now?" Theo slowly leaned closer, his lips curving slightly, his eyes full of provocation. "Don't believe me? Try me." I admit, in that moment I chickened out, snatched my bag, and fled back to my room. Who would have thought that Theo, who seemed so proper and uninterested in women, could be so shameless? Compared to him, I was nothing but a little rookie. Honestly, it was only because he was so handsome. If he looked even remotely average, I'd have slapped him twice. But I forgot, the entire house belonged to him. Where could I possibly run? Especially since I'd been sleeping in the master bedroom. Now that the real owner was back, I naturally had to vacate. After showering, I dutifully headed to the guest room. Yet the guest bed lay bare, not even a sheet in sight. I started rummaging through drawers and cabinets, searching the entire house without finding a single trace of bedding. Theo watched me darting back and forth through the room and casually asked, "What are you looking for?" "Bedding sets." I distinctly remember we had several spare sets here. "Ahem," he replied, his expression perfectly natural as he offered a rare explanation to me. "Auntie probably took them to be discarded. Our family replaces the bedding sets every so often." "Then what am I supposed to do?" "What do you mean, what are you supposed to do?" I felt defeated and utterly frustrated. How am I supposed to sleep in the guest room without bedding? Theo slowly undid his shirt buttons. "Mrs. Jiang, I have no intention of sleeping in separate rooms." What? Sharing a bed? That's a different price. Didn't we agree to keep our lives separate after marriage? I thought Theo's return would only cost me the freedom of a house. I never imagined I'd lose even the freedom of a bed to myself. Theo declared with righteous indignation, "You sleep on your side, I sleep on mine. How am I interfering with you?" His words made no sense to me, yet I couldn't find a way to refute him. Or do you want me to do something to you? I certainly don't. What was Theo on today? He just wouldn't stop teasing me. Knowing I couldn't win an argument with him, I chose not to press the issue. I'm thirsty. I'll get a glass of water. Go ahead. Theo didn't make it difficult for me. I've got some work to finish up. If you're tired, go ahead and sleep. After quitting my job, my back stopped aching, my legs stopped hurting, and my hair shed less now that I wasn't stressed. 2 weeks of slacking off had trained me to fall asleep the moment my head hit the pillow. Even though I'd been agonizing over sharing a bed with Theo just seconds before, I couldn't fight off the wave of exhaustion. So before Theo even finished his work, I was already asleep. I didn't know when he got into bed, nor when he left. When I woke up, I glanced at the space beside me. Perfect. On this 2-meter-wide bed, Theo and I had both instinctively curled up at the edges, leaving enough room for 2 more people in the middle. His actions proved he hadn't disturbed me at all. But I couldn't help feeling a little down. How much did he really dislike me? This went on for days. Theo came home every night, yet it felt like he never truly returned. Night after night, he worked late in his study. I couldn't understand it. Was being a CEO really about having no time even to sleep? Sleeping later than a dog, waking earlier than a rooster. If that's the case, I'd rather be a useless slacker. I stayed home for a few days. Taking advantage of the weekend, I met up with my best friend for shopping, reporting on my life in the wealthy household as usual. She looked utterly shocked, slamming her hand on the table. No way. You're a total knockout, got the curves in all the right places, and he didn't even touch you all night? Customers in the milk tea shops started staring. I pulled her back to her seat and silently buried my face in my hands. For heaven's sake, could you keep your voice down? Sorry. I just couldn't help it, overreacted a bit. Finally, my bestie reached a conclusion: either he's impotent, or he's gay. It clicked for me. If it was the latter, everything made sense. He avoided women, even hiring a male assistant. He paid me for a flash marriage just to appease his parents. Insisting on sharing a bed while keeping a meter away from me, probably to avoid Mom Jiang catching on. A guy like Theo is hard not to fantasize about. Frankly, he embodies every woman's fantasy of a man. But now it seems he could also fulfill a man's fantasy of another man. TSK. I shook my head and took a big gulp of my bubble tea. Finding a partner these days is tough. Finally meet a quality guy, and he's already taken care of his own needs internally. Midway through our shopping trip, my bestie got called back to work by her boss. Left alone and feeling deflated, I turned toward the supermarket, grabbed some ingredients, and headed back to my rented apartment. I love tinkering with food. What started as a way to document my life unexpectedly hit the jackpot. A few videos went viral, and I gained 800,000 followers in a year. Now I'm a half-baked food YouTuber, at least. No one but my bestie knows about this side gig. Before, with my day job, I only posted 3 or 4 videos a month. But ever since Theo bought me off with money. Ever since marrying Theo, I've been in full-on slacker mode. Plus, all my filming gear is back at my tiny apartment, so I just can't be bothered. By my reckoning, it's been 20 days since my last upload. No wonder fans are threatening to call the cops if I don't post again soon. Idle hands are the devil's workshop, might as well dust off my food vlogger persona and chip away at my retirement fund. After so long away, I've lost my touch with portion sizes and accidentally cooked too much. Wasting food is shameful. After weighing my options, I packed up the leftovers and took them back to Theo's villa, planning to save them for a late-night snack. It took me an hour to edit and upload the video. A few longtime fans teased me in the comments. Hey, the missing person is back. Finally remembered your password today, huh? I picked out a few amusing comments, interacted briefly, then headed to take a shower. At 10 o'clock that night, I was reheating my bento in the kitchen when Theo returned. I poured him a glass of water and handed it over. I'm heating up a late-night snack. Want some? There was quite a bit left over, more than I could finish alone. He didn't refuse, pulling out a chair and sitting down. I'll have some. Turns out Theo's cement polishing off every last bite, including my portion. You seem really hungry? Was he a starving ghost? Could a CEO like him not even get a proper meal? Business dinner tonight. Didn't eat much. Theo, now full and satisfied, wiped his mouth and generously praised, tastes good. An idea flashed through my mind. I leaned in, all smiles. Mr. Jiang, how about a deal? Tell me about it. You seem to enjoy eating. I cook for you, you pay me. Sound good? Fair trade, right? I was sick of the local takeout. My part-time housekeeper didn't cook, and I'd been meaning to start cooking myself anyway. I needed material for my account updates. Whether I cook for one or two, the effort is the same. Might as well cash in on his pension fund. I must have some innate talent for making money. Gianna, have you fallen for the money? Come on, who doesn't like money? He's worth over 100 million, doesn't he work day and night to make it? How much do you want? I held up 5 fingers. 500 per session. Before I could lower my hand, he slapped it down. Deal. Damn, I underpriced myself. Theo set up a contactless payment for me, he'd cover the ingredients. He gets me. I asked him why he didn't just toss me a card like those domineering CEOs in novels. He snorted, I'm afraid of losing both the person and the money. So he's worried I'll take the cash and run? I exploded, is that how you see me, someone who doesn't play by the rules? He calmly countered, oh? Isn't that exactly what you are? Fine, I couldn't guarantee I wouldn't do something like that. After all, deep down, I still harbored this fantasy of someone showing up, throwing money at me, and making me step aside. I could only blame him for knowing me too well. No time to waste. The next day at noon, I grabbed my carefully prepared lunchbox and headed straight for Theo's company. He was still in a meeting, so I killed time waiting in his office by opening Texas Hold'em on my phone. But then, one loss after another, I blew through 70,000 points until I was completely broke. This office must have some kind of curse on it. When Theo returned, I was buried in the sofa, wailing like a ghost, my phone still playing a 30-second ad. It's gone. Everything's gone. Theo looked puzzled. What's gone? 70,000. The whole 70,000. He shrugged it off. That's not much money. Why are you wailing like this? I'll just cover it for you. I was drowning in endless regret, too stunned to react to his provocation. It's different. I spent a whole week earning those 700,000 points. And now they're all gone. He looked confused. What points? Texas Hold'em points. Theo, he thought I lost 700,000 yuan, when in reality I lost 700,000 points. What stung even more was his casual remark, that's not much money, when he believed I'd lost actual cash. Human joy and sorrow truly don't connect. How much is 700,000 points worth? I'll buy it for you. I indignantly refused, how tacky. What's the point of buying it with money? You only feel accomplished when you earn it with your own hands. I could watch countless ads, but refusing to spend money on games was my last shred of stubbornness. Theo pressed his hand to his forehead, momentarily speechless at my behavior, but finally spoke up, give me your phone. I'll win it back for you. So what should have been Theo eating while I played cards suddenly turned into him playing for me while I fed him, a bizarre scene. After a few rounds, I watched Theo's points skyrocket from the 4,000 he got from watching ads to 100,000, 200,000, then 500,000. Overwhelmed with excitement, I lost control and threw my arms around Theo. You're my god. The only god. Theo froze, his expression shifting slightly. Awkwardness hung in the air. I quickly let go, realizing I'd crossed a line. This gesture felt far too intimate for us. Most importantly, Theo's reaction suggested he wasn't comfortable, or even uncomfortable, with physical contact from girls. I scratched my nose apologetically. Sorry, I got carried away. Honestly, I'd restrained myself. If this were my bestie, I'd be holding her face and planting kisses on her cheeks. He cleared his throat twice to mask his awkwardness. Want me to keep playing for you? No, no need. I've got enough to play with now. I snatched my phone and frantically gathered the lunchboxes on the table. I'll head out once you're done eating. I didn't dare linger any longer, walking out of the company with a heavy heart. Theo wouldn't hold my careless gesture against me and fire me, would he? Please, no. I haven't saved enough for my retirement yet. On Friday, my aunt called me home. When I was 9, my parents died in a car accident. I've lived with my uncle's family ever since. At the funeral, relatives shook their heads, debating who should take me in. I'd be a burden to anyone. Uncle overheard and exploded on the spot, pulling me into his arms and declaring, "Gianna is my daughter now. None of you need to support her. Don't let me hear such talk again." They fell silent instantly, yet visibly relaxed. My uncle had an exceptionally gentle temperament. That was the only time I ever saw him so furious. After losing my parents, I struggled for a long time to accept the reality. I took it out on those around me, dropped out of school for a year, and eventually transferred to another institution. But they never once complained. They treated me exceptionally well, even 10 times better than my cousin. Over the years, they pampered me back into a carefree little princess. After starting work, I rented an apartment and visited them once a week. I had a nagging feeling something was terribly wrong. They always assumed my busy work schedule meant they shouldn't bother me. Most of the time, they'd send me WeChat messages checking in on me, rarely calling to ask me to come home. And when they did call, they sounded a bit upset. Sure enough, the moment I walked in the door, I saw their faces weren't looking good. I ran over and hugged her, whining, "Auntie, what's wrong? Who upset you? Tell me, I'll go beat them up." But this time, she wasn't buying it. "Sit up straight." I obediently sat up. Auntie was clearly upset. "Answer me. Did you quit your job?" My heart skipped a beat. "How did you know?" I hadn't told them, afraid they'd worry. "Owen came by yesterday." I instantly bristled. "That damn guy again." Once when we were together, he'd driven me home and happened to run into my aunt. "He said you hooked up with some rich guy and wanted to break up with him. He couldn't find you at your rental place, so he came looking for us." "We don't believe him, we only believe you. Now explain properly what really happened." I gave her a rough account of the situation. Uncle paced the living room, furious. "Quit? Great. Break up? Perfect. We don't need that job anyway. Why didn't you tell us you quit?" Auntie looked displeased. "You fool. If you quit, why are you still sending money home? I'll transfer it back right now." She made a move to pull out her phone. I stopped her. "Hey, I'm working now. Of course I have savings. Don't worry, I've got money. Your retirement fund is safe with me. We have our pensions. We don't need yours. Your uncle and I just want you to be happy. We're not pressuring you to marry, but if you could find someone caring to look after you, we'd feel at ease." Seeing the worry on my aunt's face, I decided to share part of the truth after much thought. "Actually, I already have a boyfriend. He's better looking than Owen, taller than him, richer than him, and treats me really well. Plus, I have my own income now. I have hundreds of thousands of followers on my videos and can make money from ads. You guys can relax." The moment they heard this, their interest was instantly piqued. They insisted I bring my new boyfriend home to meet them. I couldn't resist their pleas and had to agree. Back at the villa, my mind was consumed with how to broach the subject of uncle and aunt wanting to meet Theo. After all, I needed his help. For days, I poured my energy into making him all kinds of elaborate bento lunches. Theo's meal service upgraded from whatever I made, he ate, to whatever he craved, I cooked. I firmly believed, a full stomach makes for a grateful heart. Plus, I'd grown addicted to delivering meals to Theo, because every point I lost, he'd win back for me, plate by plate. With him around, it felt like I had a cheat code. Theo paid my cooking fees weekly. That noon, I delivered his meal as usual. He pulled out his phone to transfer the payment. Seeing the moment was ripe, I seized the chance to speak up. "Mr. Jiang, you don't need to transfer this week's payment. Could you do me a favor instead?" "What kind of favor?" "Well, my family wants to meet you. Could you come home with me so they can feel at ease?" Theo didn't say a word and transferred the money as usual. My heart sank. Did he have to refuse so bluntly? After all the delicious meals I'd made for him. Heartless, ungrateful dog. I cursed his ancestors 18 generations back in my mind, then heard him speak slowly. Meeting your family is only right. You don't need to use this as payment. Huh? Sorry, I admit I cursed him a bit too loudly just now. I set a time and brought Theo home. Worried he might not be prepared, I explained my situation beforehand. He listened quietly, saying nothing, just running his hand through the back of my hair. Maybe it was my imagination, but I thought I saw pity in his eyes. Yes, pity. Not pity. Uncle and aunt were thoroughly satisfied. Theo was exceptionally intelligent and emotionally perceptive. Having dominated the business world for years, he'd seen it all. This minor situation was nothing to him. And why wouldn't they be satisfied? If he weren't gay, I might have fallen for him myself. What a shame, a man like that is only for looking, not touching. On the way back, I sat in the passenger seat chatting about our school days. Theo drove, then suddenly asked, "Which elementary school did you go to?" I blurted out, "Garden Elementary." "You too?" "No." We didn't pursue the topic further. He had a business dinner, and I didn't want to intrude on his work. I chose to wander around nearby alone, waiting for him to finish before heading back together. Shopping alone was never much fun. After aimlessly wandering for half an hour, I headed straight to the restaurant where Theo was entertaining clients to wait for him. Unexpectedly, I ran into the last person I wanted to see. Owen had stepped out of a private room. "Gianna, did you come here looking for me? You still like me, don't you?" he asked shamelessly. I rolled my eyes inwardly. How blind had I been to ever like someone like him? "Who do you think you are?" "I know everything. You're working as a nanny for Mr. Jiang." "Gianna, Theo may look polished on the surface, but behind the scenes, he's probably a scheming villain. That kind of ruthless person isn't someone you should be involved with. Come back to me. You won't have to work so hard. I can forget everything that happened before." I was utterly speechless. To avoid becoming the center of gossip at Theo's company, I delivered his lunch disguised as a nanny. "Owen, we can't get back together. Stop spreading rumors about me to my family. Stay away from me." I recorded this conversation. "You're so obsessed with saving face, right? If I ever hear you talking nonsense outside again, I'll send this recording to your company." Owen's face turned ashen. He spat out, "You'll regret this," before storming into a private room. 10 minutes later, I saw my former boss emerge from the same room. A suspicion formed in my mind. I texted Theo, "Which room are you in?" "A 1003. Sure enough, it was the same one. "I'm a bit bored. Can I come over to see you?" He replied quickly, "Come on over." "It's someone you know." Humph, wasn't it someone I knew? 2 minutes later, I put away my phone and knocked on the door of private room A1003. I pushed the door open, flashed a smile, and sweetly called out to Theo, "Honey." The three faces inside stared at me in shock. Though all expressions were stunned, I detected subtle differences. Theo's shock even held a hint of delight. The other two, however, turned from shocked to livid, their expressions truly something to behold. Theo rose, pulled out a chair for me, and after I sat down, introduced me, "This is my wife." My former boss looked at me, visibly uncomfortable. I hooked my arm through Theo's and pouted, "Honey, did you forget? I used to be under Mr. Qian. We know each other well." "Right, Mr. Qian?" My former boss wiped sweat from his brow, unsure whether to sit or remain standing. Theo nodded and continued along my line of thought, "Speaking of which, Gianna and I only became husband and wife because Mr. Qian brought us back together." Owen cracked first, "Gianna, you're not a maid." "You tricked me?" "What do you mean, Mr. Chen?" I smiled. "When did I ever say I was a maid? Your sources are pretty unreliable, Mr. Chen." "Oh right, what was Mr. Chen saying earlier?" "I have a recording here for everyone to hear." I played the recording. When Owen's backstabbing remarks about Theo came on, Owen and the former boss's faces turned beet red. "Owen, you've truly disappointed me. You're fired effective immediately," the former boss fumed. Mr. Jiang, please hear us out. Theo rose calmly, one hand resting coldly on my waist. No need. Your company isn't worth my time. I only gave you a chance for my wife's sake. I'm a protective husband. I can't stand seeing my wife wronged. But Mr. Chin was right about your ruthlessness. Your company should pray for its own survival. Theo was seriously killing it. I, Gianna, swear I could punch a hole through the wall for him. Only after getting back in the car did I snap out of my dazed state and start explaining my actions. I wasn't entirely using you to get back at them. I just couldn't stand how they wanted your money while bad-mouthing you behind your back. Plus, I did my research. Among companies like theirs, their qualifications and terms aren't the best. There are plenty of firms eager to partner with you. I don't know why you agreed to work with them before, but you must know they're not the optimal choice. Mrs. Jiang, Theo interrupted, you got one thing wrong. You can absolutely use me. I'd welcome it. Inside, I was screaming. I could cry my eyes out. Mr. Jiang, must you be so rigid about gender? Theo looked at me, puzzled. What do you mean? Never mind. It was hard enough dealing with parents who didn't approve of our relationship. Why should I stab him in the heart too? This pain of unattainable love was mine alone to bear. My relationship with Theo has been steadily growing, most notably in how much he loves the meals I cook. Our tastes align perfectly. I like to call this our foodie connection. Since I make him lunch every day, I've accumulated plenty of video footage. I turned it into a series that updates regularly on my account, directly boosting my followers by 200,000. Having him is my blessing. Theo's mom invited us to stay at the family home for 2 days. I didn't refuse. After all, Theo and I got married to appease our parents. Can't forget our primary purpose. Dedication to duty is ingrained in our DNA. I'm a bit nervous. This is my first real visit to meet Theo's parents. It feels like the jitters of an ugly daughter-in-law meeting her in-laws. My parents don't care about social status. As long as I like you, it's fine. Don't be nervous. His kind reassurance only made me more anxious. The thing is, you don't even like me. Fortunately, though Mr. Jiang looked a bit stern, he was actually easygoing and down-to-earth. At the dinner table, Mrs. Jiang kept serving me food. After lunch, Theo's parents retired for their afternoon nap. Theo went to his study, and I headed back to my room to video chat with my best friend. She looked all gossipy. So, how were your in-laws? Did they give you a hard time? No, they were great. The whole atmosphere was really pleasant. Still, I'm curious. They seemed pretty open-minded. Not the type who couldn't accept Theo liking men, right? No sooner had she finished than I heard a loud thud at the door. Theo had appeared at the doorway, a book having fallen to the floor. No, I didn't mean. I hurriedly ended the call and scrambled off the bed. I respect your orientation. You're a genuinely good person. There's nothing wrong with liking men. Society's much more open-minded now. The more I explained, the more prominent the vein pulsing on Theo's forehead became. He gritted his teeth, suppressing his anger. Gianna, who told you I like men? Huh? You don't? You. Theo was so flustered he nearly spat blood. You're just great. He left, leaving me utterly flustered. Impossible. If he didn't like men, why would he avoid me like the plague after sharing a bed night after night? I silently glanced down at myself. Seriously? Could I really be that unappealing? Before I could process it, Theo stormed back in, cursing under his breath. I held back all this time, scared I'd scare you off. And this is what I get, some likes men bullshit. This was the first time I'd ever seen Theo so completely broken. Gianna, you really take the cake. Watch closely who I like. Then his large hand clamped down on the back of my head, his lips covering mine in a wave of warmth. The kiss was sudden and fierce, even carrying a hint of punishment. My mind was filled with question marks. Not gay? My heart felt a little flutter. After a long moment, Theo released me, his eyes burning crimson. Gianna, you truly don't remember who I am? I tentatively asked. We knew each other before? Impossible. If I'd ever seen Theo before, with a face like his, I couldn't possibly have no memory of him. Humph, Theo stormed off, his face dark. But I searched my memory all afternoon and still couldn't find any connection to him. Theo didn't speak a word to me for the rest of the afternoon. It was clear he was genuinely furious. And the culprit herself, me, had no clue why. For dinner, Auntie steamed crabs, but I felt awkward helping myself. Theo seemed to be doing it on purpose, picking out crab meat from the crabs and piling it into his bowl. I could practically stare holes through his bowl, I wanted some so badly. But image was more important. As we chatted, Jiang's mom suddenly brought up Theo's childhood. Don't let Theo's good looks fool you now, he was a little chubby as a kid, wouldn't you know it? He even had a crush on a girl back then, but she left without a word. He was heartbroken for ages. Mom, let's not bring up the past. Some people won't remember it anyway. Theo shot me a meaningful glance as he said this. Chubby kid. Chubby. Dead memories suddenly assaulted me. Before the upheaval in my family, I attended Oak Grove Elementary. For a short time, there was a chubby boy who always played house with me. Back then, he was ostracized by others because of his weight. I won him over as my regular playmate with just one piece of candy. I couldn't quite remember his full name, so I usually called him Brother Jiang. It's okay, if no one wants to play with you, you can play house with me. When you grow up, you'll marry me. I'll be the mommy, you be the daddy. After my parents passed away, I never returned to that school. I transferred to Garden Elementary. They had the accident while picking me up from school, so whenever anyone asked about my elementary school, I instinctively answered Garden Elementary. So that chubby kid was Theo? I should have realized it when he asked which elementary school I attended. But Theo's transformation is too drastic, who could recognize him as that little chubby kid? Now that I think about it, maybe Theo wasn't bullied because of his weight, but because of that perpetually sour expression. What kid wouldn't be scared of that? What should I do? How do I cheer him up? Before I could come up with a plan, Theo wiped his hands and stood up. I'm full. He plopped the bowl full of crab meat next to me and grumbled, eat more. Stuff your brain shut. Spoiled brat. Fine. For the sake of this bowl of crab meat, I'll figure out how to cheer him up later. That evening, the housekeeper brought me my toiletries. Oh, young mistress, Mr. Jiang asked me to bring up those bedding sets from the villa. I put them on the top shelf of the wardrobe. Bedding sets? Didn't we throw those away? The housekeeper smiled sweetly. How could we throw them away? Those were all newly purchased last month as spares. Auntie, you said Theo asked you to bring them back? Yes, young Master Jiang told me to keep the master bedroom set and bring the rest here. Humph, that Theo, so cunning. Forget coaxing him. Let him stew in his own anger. After my bath, Theo was already lying on the bed. Still lying at the edge of the bed. Fine, I'll try coaxing him. I slipped under the covers and moved closer to the middle. Mr. Jiang. No response. Husband. He stirred slightly. Brother Jiang. A noticeable reaction. See? I remember everything now. Give me a hug. Miss this chance and you'll regret it. Theo quickly pulled me close, wrapping his arms around me. I hugged him back. Hee hee, are you done being mad? He turned his head away, ignoring me. If you keep being mad, I'll get mad too. Men are such a hassle. If it weren't for the fact that you're my little chubby, I wouldn't bother coaxing you so nicely. Gianna, this isn't right. Theo finally lost his cool, looking utterly aggrieved. Can't you comfort me? Decided to talk to me now? I pressed my advantage. I didn't forget on purpose. You remembered perfectly well but never reminded me. I was kept in the dark like a fool and didn't even hold it against you. It was my mistake to assume you liked men. But why did you sleep next to me without reacting, keeping such distance? How could I not wonder about your thing? Why didn't you just say you liked me sooner? If you told me earlier, we could have kissed and cuddled and lifted each other up ages ago. Instead, you pushed this contract marriage, saying we'd have nothing to do with each other after marriage to placate our parents. So I had no choice but to keep things strictly professional. Trying to shift the blame onto someone else. If you'd said it sooner, I wouldn't have spent every day worrying about losing my pension. Theo explained calmly, I just feared you'd think I had ulterior motives. It was merely an excuse. You're so handsome and wealthy, how could I not like you? And that crab meat was so hard to peel, yet you peeled a whole bowl for me. You're so good to me, I'll only like you more and more. Besides, tell me, haven't I been good to you lately? Making your lunchbox by hand, delivering it personally, feeding it to you. See, I'm even coaxing you now. Isn't that what husbands do for their wives? I'm using every PUA line I've ever learned in my life. If this doesn't work, I'm screwed. Ahem, after all that talking, I'm kinda thirsty. Theo flipped back the covers and got out of bed. I'll go get you some water. Perfect. Got him right where I want him. My pension is safe. By the time Theo returned with the water, his anger had cooled. After downing a cup of lukewarm water, it was time for me to lay into him. Why did you trick my aunt into throwing away the bedding set? It was you scheming boy, who made her take it. Did you have ulterior motives toward me all along? So, Theo, whose secret I'd uncovered, showed no embarrassment. Mrs. Jiang, would you be willing? Lying in Theo's arms, I lay awake for a long time. So, when did you recognize me? He toyed with my fine hair. From the very first meeting. Your eyes and brows resemble those of a child. I thought your aversion to women meant you harbored feelings for your first love. No, he kissed my forehead. Only you. Always only you. So. All along. Only me. Extra chapter Theo's inner monologue. I never imagined I'd encounter her again. Her brows and eyes looked just like when she was a child. She came to the company with her boss to discuss a partnership, and I used my position to get close to her. But she didn't seem to recognize me. To see her again, I partnered with the company she worked for. A small, shabby company. But she really didn't remember me. Annoying. How could I legitimately get her to work for me? Troublesome. She posted that she didn't want to try anymore. My chance had come. I have nothing but money. She agreed to marry me. She even called me husband. I'll have a wife soon. The marriage certificate wasn't even warm yet when I got called on a last-minute business trip. What's the point of supporting all these people? I haven't even gotten to hold my wife yet. I miss my wife so much. 3 days into the trip and she hasn't sent me a single message. Business trip over. Finally getting to see my wife. Wife posted an update, love-struck brain needs to pay back loan sharks. Did my wife figure out I'm love-struck? I'm this rich, no way I'd borrow from loan sharks. Forget it, better not go back. My wife loves money. I'll just work harder to spend it on her. My wife spent my money, so happy. My wife bought me something. Great taste. Just got the underwear size wrong. First time staying with my wife, how do I not creep her out? Stressed. Don't want to sleep apart, but I'm scared to get close. Sleeping on the edge is exhausting. My wife cooked for me. It's delicious. I helped my wife win at cards, and she hugged me. I'm gonna help her win points every day from now on. My wife took me home to meet her parents. The revolution is almost complete. My wife called me husband in front of others for the first time. That ex-boyfriend and ex-boss? I've blocked them. So mad. My wife actually thought I liked men. Or maybe she still doesn't remember me. Even madder. But my wife's lips are so soft. I want to kiss her. I peeled a whole bowl of crab meat for my wife. Why isn't she coming to comfort me yet? Mad. My wife really is the absolute best wife in the whole world. I love Gianna.